There you go. I'm good. Right,
okay. Watch that be the freeze frame now.
Probably, yeah.
What were you eating? Oh, the bones.
The bones, yeah. Should keep them happy. Hi, V. Should keep them happy for a good hour or so.
Yeah. There we go. All shared.
Evening, folks.
I have a real question.
Oh, blimey. Oh, no. Hi, Christina. Evening, Trish. Come and say hello if you're watching. I'm just going to finish my dinner and then we can get cracking. We've only just got back in from the dog walk. I know. It's quite short, isn't it? So, yeah. Actually, I suppose I shouldn't say this, but do you want to tell them what I said yesterday?
You were comparing me to my photos of my first day at primary school.
She's not had a fringe like that since year 7. In fact.
No, not year 7. Year 1.
Oh right, I was thinking
like
I was thinking the bit between when you first started secondary. I'm just having a little scan through old photos because there will be one in there of the return to school photo. These are all way too recent. Oh no, so where's?
It depends on.
Yeah, it depends on where it's gone actually. So those so there you go. Photos of me then.
Yeah, there you go.
Which one?
One with Mum and Lou.
Oh yeah, I suppose. No, it wasn't that one I was thinking about. I'll find it. We'll have to do a picture.
I wish I still had those curls from that fairy
honestly
photo shoot. That was great.
We'll get a before and after, or a now and then picture. Yeah, I can't find one. However, I've not seen her hair like that for many years. And when I walked in, I was like, "What on earth? You look like you're 12 again."
To be fair, when I came in from the bakery, I'd come straight from the hairdresser, and she uses straighteners, and I never straighten my hair at home, so it wasn't just a dramatic cut. It was like straightened and boxy. Whereas when it's a bit curly, it kind of separates a little bit.
It does make her look younger as well. Absolutely.
I'm trying out different stuff.
Right. So first one, Dan. I'm eating effectively.
Hang on, I've got V's comment.
Oh, right. Okay. Might be silly, but the paper that the wraps come in, is it just baking parchment? Can I reuse it for baking? Yeah, you can reuse it. So it'll wear out. Obviously, when we make the wraps, they've been used just the once, as in the dough goes on the baking sheet, it gets pressed on that piece of parchment, and then baked on it. But yeah, you could reuse that 2 or 3 times, no problem at all. Especially if you know which side the wrap's been on, and just turn it over because that side will be completely untouched. So yeah, it will reuse definitely, and it's called siliconized parchment paper. And it's siliconized on both sides, so it doesn't matter which side we use. So yes, right. What am I eating, Dan? I'm eating minced beef. So a whole pack of minced beef, 500 grams. It's 25% fat. I have strained some of the fat off. Hang on, wrong shoulder. It's in the white ball behind me. You can't actually see it. There's not much, but I've fried it just in its own fat, and then strained a little bit off. Chucked in an egg. Chucked in some blue cheese. There you go, done. That's my dinner. I wasn't sure I fancied anything, so I just thought I'd do this. Hi, Kerry. Hi, Emma. Hi, Karen.
Thank you, Emma.
thought you were talking about my dinner then.
You not see the head?
No, I can't
That's
actually
the
see the emoji. Oh yeah, I can see them now. Yeah. Anyway. Has Chris got through customs yet? I did see the last message. Is he still stuck?
I don't know.
Has he been apprehended?
the last message we have from Chris is Heathrow is always the worst airport. So, Dan, is there an update on Chris?
So, for anyone new watching, this isn't just watch Mark eat. Feel free to ask any questions. Obviously, the group that are in now commenting, regulars, all people following keto low carb lifestyles. So if you've got questions, you're unsure, ask a question. We can try and answer, and there are many others there that will help as well. I'm sure I've mentioned before, I'm lactose intolerant. I need to stop eating so much cheese. I barely eat cheese these days. It's very, very strange. I got cheese for my birthday, and it's still sitting in the fridge.
It means you enjoy it.
Yeah, that like cheese. This, there was not even that. 30 grams of cheese has gone into this, and that's it. Bought sheep cheese and goat cheese. I mean, they're brilliant, and actually, they're now my preferred types of cheeses. Certainly, the sheep cheese, like anything like a manchego, is fantastic. But there's so many choices now. Goat cheese, a bit of lamb, goat cheese is literally nothing better. So yeah, it's nice to have a bit of alternative. I've used actually no, I think this was a sheep cheese as well. But yeah, they tend to have more flavour. Stuart Waves, hello Stuart. Mark Waves. I had mince beef, leek, mushroom pie. The crust was pizza-based dollops. Oh, right, pizza-based dollop on top. Wow. Which pizza base did you use, Trish? What dough are you using for that? That's interesting. Sounds great. He managed to pass the rubber glove test. Oh. Hi, Kerry. How you doing? Yeah, we did work hard this morning in Tabata. It was strange because it felt really quiet, as in it was very peaceful outside. Wasn't much noise going on. It felt like a Sunday. I know it's a bit, you don't see that time in the morning generally when I'm out there.
Well, I do see that time in the morning. I do get up when you're training.
From your bed. But yeah, it felt a little bit weird this morning. It felt sort of quite serene almost, but bloody hell, it was a tough one this morning. Is the cream needs to find alternative proper better? Okay, so cream alternative. I mean, what, for coffee, or is this for alternatives? Because there's loads of alternatives for coffee. Hi Ali. Oh, it's the almond flour crust, right? Okay. Coconut milk, well, okay, depends what you're using for, V. Coconut milk is great in certain things.
For baking, yes.
For baking, yeah.
As long as you're happy with the taste of coconut.
No coffee, okay, yeah. Yeah, so coconut milk. Lactose intolerant.
Yeah, so it looks like V's happy with coconut milk.
Yeah, the coconut milk works. It's a great alternative. That's why, I use the coconut milk in the roti recipe. It's a perfect alternative.
Stuart had a question.
Do you ever fall off the wagon? No. It doesn't interest me. None of that stuff interests me at all. I haven't fallen off for 5.5 years. So, and I get it. If it's not become your lifestyle yet, then the temptation might be to sort of drift back to have something. But I haven't had a McDonald's for, since God knows 2017, 16, or whatever it was. None of it interests me at all. I can go, I've talked many times about sort of my failures of the past used to be cakes, cream cakes, those sorts of things, and alcohol. I'm never a massive sort of crisps and biscuit fan, but they would actually. I would demolish a packet of fig rolls after a run, definitely, and then wonder why I felt crap. But ever since I made the change, no, I've had one day where I ate sugar in the form of normal cakes. We talked about it a lot. It was when we did Barcelona, but that's 5 years ago, isn't it? Was that 2019? We 18?
Yeah.
2018. There you go. That's my last day off. Around about this time of the year, 2018. So I did 3 marathons in 8 weeks. So yeah, and actually, I'll be honest with you, the way I felt that day was like, there's no point ever going back. I'd lived this lifestyle for no more than 8 months at that point. And had one day off and felt rubbish. So I've never been tempted to have a normal cake or bowl of pasta or rice or anything like that. It just doesn't interest me anymore. Arju's happy. He's just had a meaty bone. So he's doing his happy dance. Yeah, even the veggies. I mean, it's like now. It's taken some years, but even now, I don't really eat much in the way of veggies or greens. I just tend to stick to meat, cheese. But even that's changed, and it is now predominantly my meal yesterday. I only really had one meal yesterday. Was a tray of skinless, boneless chicken thighs, just coated and baked. And that was it. So it can be a bit. I think once you sort of get beyond the temptation and you sort of view what you eat as, is it doing me any good? And if it's not, why am I going to eat it? So I know, as I know, let's face it, we've got a recipe library about 400 recipes. Yeah, most of the time when we eat quite simple, don't we? We eat quite simple. So. Dan's found that he's on the hunt for food, is he?
Yeah, he's found somewhere.
Hi, totally, Jane.
Yeah, the coconut milk will be perfect for that.
Yeah. So it's baking savoury sauces. Okay. You know what I'm going to say? V, in your savoury sauce, if you want to make it a bit thicker, just sprinkle in a bit of panda flour. Stir it in. Job done. Whatever the question is, the answer is panda flour. Yeah, it is at the moment. Put Stuart's question there so I can't see it properly. Still losing weight. Think I'm not getting enough calories though. Should probably start tracking macros. Okay, tracking macros, but it's the not enough calories potentially. That it's eating like this. It's eating. Obviously, I just said to you, it's 25% fat. Yes, I've drained some of it off, so probably down to closer to 20%. I've literally sort of 2 meals today. Not quite. One was a sort of a chicken wrap this morning, about 7 hours ago. So getting enough calories when you don't have a huge appetite is actually doing something like this. Whether it's a bowl of fried mince or some tray of chicken thighs or something like that, and focus on making sure you're getting the right amount of protein and fat. So tracking macros is okay, but what are you going to do to change it? And it's focus on the 2 that you need, the protein and the fat. So, a lot of people will still try and sort of, maybe eat 3 or 4 portions of fruit and veg a day, but it's not essential. If in doubt, use panda. There you go. Just chuck a panda at it. We're all good. What's your favourite at Creative Bakes?
It depends on what I want. I've been thinking about making some ice cream lately because it's obviously warmer. So So that'd probably be my go-to. The lava cake isn't in Creator Bakes because that's my most used recipe. I have that more than any other sweet treat recipe.
Yeah, lava cake. Actually, I fancy one of those tonight.
Well, I've already had some chocolate, so I'm
Yes.
not making a lava cake.
Right. Sorry that I ate on, but I've just come back from walking. Panda flour, yes, it is my invention. And what's it made of? It's made of bamboo fibre. The ingredients are on the packet. You can clearly see them: bamboo fibre, coconut flour, and psyllium husk. It's essentially made of 3 fibres, although coconut flour contains some carbs. The other 2 are pure fibres. And the combination of the 3 creates a flour that is pretty much a straight replacement. The more we use it, the more we learn from it. So the replacement for, yes, the Panda flour is gluten-free. It's made in the gluten-free bakery. I wish I could tell you more about what's going on, but right now I can't. There's stuff going on regarding Panda. So you'll get to know first once we've nailed a few things down. But yeah, no pandas were harmed in the making of the flour. It's because bamboo is the primary ingredient. So that's why we sort of, when we first started playing around with it, which was I think I started playing around with it about a year or so ago, maybe we had no idea what we were going to be able to create, and it's taken a few twists and turns. However, what started off as just a straightforward wrap flour, we've realized it works in to make a pastry. It works in cakes. If you've got a favorite cake, so here's a challenge for anyone out there. If you've got a favorite cake recipe, so whatever it is that you would normally have made with your standard white flour, if you want to go down the lines of having a go at making your own cake, as in your sort of like your low carb keto cake, then for every 100 grams of standard white flour, use about 30 grams of Panda. Now you'll need to change the sweetener as well, and if you've made the cake previously, you'll know what the consistency should look like. So, it may take a little bit less or a little bit more flour. It depends as to what liquids have gone in there, and what the consistency of your cake would normally be. So, I'm pretty confident that cake-wise, it will work with pretty much everything and anything. Marmite chocolate orange. Sorry, chocolate cake. I think I said orange then. Marmite chocolate cake.
I'll leave that one to you, Kerry.
Yeah.
Christina's asking about the scones.
They were better. We need to improve them even more. So Sue did them, I think, on Sunday, didn't she, last week?
Yeah, using yogurt.
Using yogurt as the liquid, and she improved it using that. So it's not ready yet. It's not ready. I mean, we're getting there. It's working out the volume of Panda to almond. Initially, I came all the way down. In fact, I took almond out and just used Panda. It produced these beautiful little tiny, very soft. You couldn't call them scones. Started to add almond back in to get more depth and more density. So Sue's looked better than mine, but as she says, too fluffy still. So it's getting the right texture. Yorkshire puddings, we've not nailed it yet. Not nailed it.
Liam was having a breakdown about
so we gave Liam an afternoon of testing, and Yorkshire puddings was one of those things. Coco's doing the happy dance now as well. He produced many a flat, rubbery. I mean, they weren't puddings, and there was nothing light and fluffy about them. So, not Yorkshire puddings yet. But I've no doubt it will work. We just haven't got the combination right. We haven't got the volumes right. But it will work. No, it doesn't taste the coconut. Well, I don't think so. And the only time we can sort of smell it is when we bake the plain wraps. Once we bake anything else, so the flavored wraps or the cakes or the roti, when we're doing those, there's no smell, but you can't taste it at all. So it's not, although it's number 2 in the ingredients list, it's not enough in there, I don't think, to actually override the taste.
Technically, it's number 3 because water's number 1.
I suppose, yeah, water is number 1, isn't it? Well, in the flour, it's number 2, but in the wraps, it's number 3.
Carrot cake, I think, will be the next one.
Carrot cake would be the next one. We have. You trialed it, didn't you? You did a little mini trial.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did one, which was great. We haven't upscaled it yet. Yeah. Almond lemon cakes. Well, the thing is, we've actually removed all of the almonds from the cakes now. So
apart from cherry and almond cake,
which has almonds still only sprinkled on top, though.
Yeah.
So that's why the cakes are now much lighter in texture. They're much fluffier. Go on. I made Yorkshire pudding from lupin, but they're still too light. Okay. I've never had much luck with lupin, although I haven't really played with it much. Maybe that will be the next challenge, because I do know there are some good recipes. I saw a Dorito recipe for using lupin, because obviously it's got the right sort of colour. And it's only 3 ingredients, but I've not watched the process to see how it's made. But that's something for the future. Not everybody likes lupin. It has got quite a strong taste, whereas I think the difference is Panda hasn't. So, quick go-to meals. Pretty much what I've just had. Walked in at. I'm going to say that clock wrong. Walked in at 6:20.
Oh, yeah, the clock is still an hour
behind.
behind.
Still an hour behind. Walked in at 6:20, so I wanted to sort of cook something. So it was a packet of meat fried. Normal quick meals, eggs. I almost fancy. That's why I stuck an egg in it. I actually did fancy an egg this evening. Eggs and smoked salmon, something like that. Pan fried chicken breast. It depends what I've got in the fridge. It's usually packs of meat that I'll just, if it's a steak, a couple of minutes, done.
Today's been a pretty typical day for me at the moment. So my breakfast, I've moved away from the shakshuka one.
Right, okay.
And I'm back onto a protein and eggs. So today it was chicken, and I fried it in the pan because I had pesto, so I made a pesto chicken and then put cracked eggs on top. Otherwise, I'll fry or scramble eggs and have a protein in the grill, and that'll be breakfast. And then dinner was a protein, and then whatever veg was in the fridge in a pan.
Yeah.
Fry it.
That's sort of your go-to, isn't it?
Yeah. Super quick. Which comment are you going to?
I don't know, because I can't really see them, so I'm waiting for you to sort of. I'm learning to look there rather than there. Once made Yorkshire puddings with potato flour, but that's not suitable. No, it's just a high starch. It's a gluten-free. It's funny, we were having a conversation with somebody today about that. I've seen that. I've seen your loaf, Ali, which made me go and try something. Not ready yet. But yeah, I think I was trialing it before, but then I saw what you did, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to give that another go because it didn't work initially. But yeah, so the standard gluten-free stuff is usually a high starch, so it is not suitable, as you say. Sausage, bacon, egg breakfast. Yeah, I mean, I've not had sausages for ages. We bloody produce them, and I've not had sausages for ages. Maybe I need to make myself some sausages. Actually, I know there's a few people that do make their own. They're not that difficult to make. Once you've got the little bit of equipment, and you can actually use a hand sausage maker. If you are looking for, I appreciate some people are going to go, oh, it's too much effort, it's too much time. And if you are looking for as clean as you can, ingredients or recipe ideas, then spending half an hour to an hour making a batch of sausages, which you can then freeze down, dead easy. Once you've had a couple of goes at it, it's cost effective because you can go and buy your turkey mince. You go and buy. I picked up some chicken mince a couple of days ago, which for Ella. Beef mince. If you want beef sausages, you can season them yourself. The skins are very easy to get hold of. The collagen skins available on Amazon. And a little hand sausage maker is like 30 quid. I feel like I should be buying a laying chicken. Well, actually, we'd have chickens apart from we have 2 dogs, which means we'd have no chickens.
Why don't you just
which we'd have no chickens left. Or we'd have 2 very, very tired dogs.
I was going to say, provide an afternoon's entertainment. And then
when the farmers market comes round once a month into the village, and I generally buy 5 trays on an average month, 6 trays if it's a 5-weekend month. So between 150 and 180 eggs, and that generally gets the 3 of us through a month. And they were all freshly laid. So again, it's the difference between I'll pay £7 for a tray, which is 2.5 dozen, which in the supermarket nowadays, they're not cheaper now, are they? Are they £2 a dozen? So 2 for, so it'd be £5 for the tray. The ones the comparison, there is no comparison. Anyone that's got that keeps chickens or can get hold of fresh eggs, they are completely different to supermarket.
Alison's just put in a good suggestion there, because obviously if you don't have a sausage maker, or you don't want to
lawn sausage,
make a lawn sausage, I put the recipe in there.
Right, V, what you're thinking of is the hog's intestine skins. The collagen skins are dry, so they look like I'm trying to think of it. It's almost like a glove. So they're a dry skin, and when you fill it, obviously it fills the skin itself. So from the machine, so it's not like holding sort of like raw intestine. It's actually it's dried, which is strange because when it's filled, it sort of obviously absorbs the moisture from the meat. So I'll make it with lupin flour, making bagels. Yeah, okay. It would be no different, so the bagel consistency is different to any of the mega recipes. It's denser. A real bagel, you can easily make bagels from the standard sort of mega recipe, switching what was the linseed, or what is the linseed for ground almonds for lupin. So that's the easy switch. Right, V, you can buy vegetarian skins. Get that, eh?
You'd have to rethink the filling part.
No. But it's the skin that's the issue. But you can buy veggie skins. They're made out of collagen, plant-based collagen.
See you later, Trish.
See you, Trish. Right, okay. Anyway, I did have something to show you I did have something to show you this evening. And we've just rattled through the first half hour. So there's a little box sitting here.
It's not so little.
Well, it's not so little, actually, yeah. I've been invited to trial a meat box from an online butcher's. So I've never heard of them up until we received this. So this is a complete live unboxing.
If you want to do the influence thing, it's not #sponsored, but it's #gifted.
Okay, #gifted. And they've asked that once we've used the meat, and they're a nose to tail butchers. And if you can see the company name, go and research it, go and have a look. They do some fantastic cuts of meat. However, just just wanted to sort of open this while we were online to sort of show what comes in the box. So I think I can't remember what they call this now, but it's obviously a meat box. Is there a name on this one? So I recognise the wadding that they used. Yorkshire, I think. Yorkshire Dales. So I recognise the wadding that they use. So it's good quality wadding. And obviously they've got the gel pack. So we've had this. It was delivered yesterday. It's been in the fridge, but the gel packs are still ice cold. I mean, these are great gel packs. So I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll get the bits out and we'll have a little look. So
they say to maximise flavour on our fabulous tasting beef is dry aged on the bone for a minimum of 28 days in our Himalayan salt aging chamber.
oh, okay.
And range of handcrafted sausages, freshly made each week in small batches, only using high quality whole spices that they grind freshly. And they make proper old fashioned bacon following traditional artisanal techniques to dry cure prime cuts.
Wow.
Sounds quite good.
Okay, so there's some really interesting stuff in here. I didn't know what we were getting. I had no idea. There's some really, and they really are nose to tail when I've looked at what's coming out of the box here. It's cold. I mean, it's properly chilled.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the way down to sort of like. I mean, it does say beef stock bones. I think the dogs might get some of this. The bones.
Someone is stood right there.
Grass fed bones. Right, there's actually quite a lot in here. I mean, I think this box is about £90. Wow. Right. Okay. So we're at the end. Yes,
No.
No, you're not having any of this, Coco. You've just had a meaty bone, haven't you?
And you don't like cold meat.
Yeah. She likes her bones room temperature. Okay. So there's I haven't added up the value, the amount of meat compared to the value. So that's something that I will do. However, they say that, and I think it is. So that each of the labels tells us obviously what it is, but it's like this is pasture fed. So this is lamb's liver, pasture fed. One of my favourites. That's a definite one for me. Sort of 400 grams. Grass fed, flat iron steak. So obviously there's several different steaks in here.
There's a massive one there.
Yeah. So again, so grass fed. So again, if talking about, if you're looking at sort of buying the best quality, well, grass fed quite obviously is. So grass fed. Oh, it's minute steak. So there's a couple of minute steaks in there. Another sort of 400 grams. They're quite decent. I'll save this one for in a minute.
What is that?
So shin beef. So obviously a stewing beef again, grass fed. Feather blade steak, grass fed. Lamb steak, pasture fed. So I wonder what the difference. I don't know. I'll have to sort of look at that because I presume pasture and grass. I would have thought would be the same. It is like another birthday, isn't it? In fact, weirdly enough, the birthday present that the kids bought me, funny enough, a month ago when it was my birthday, turned up. Was it yesterday, the day before? Yeah, it was either yesterday or the day before, one of the two. Oh, right, okay. So now we get to some of the interesting stuff. Let's just see this. So minced beef, that's obviously you can see it's quite fatty. So grass-fed, native breed, dry aged. Wow, that's going to make some mighty good burgers. Does it say? Are you researching different?
I can only find pasture raised, so I'm going on their website to see if they say.
See if they say, and then an onglet steak. So obviously, it'd be interesting to sort of see the different what I need, the different cooking methods for these different steaks. So we've got flat iron, we've got the minute steak. What's that one? That was the feather bones. It's a feather blade steak. So we've got 4 sets of steaks in there. We've also got 2 sets of beef stock bones. So meaty, well, not quite meaty bones. I'm not sure where they're from. There's a lot of fat on them. It's a huge amount of fat on these. So it's not just bone. It's sort of, I can sort of squish it a little bit. So, I wonder if these do suet, fresh suet. That'd be interesting. But yeah, so that's going to be. So what's the
They don't do so.
All right, I've got 2 very, very different meaty bones here, or stock bones. So these are more like a marrow bone.
Sorry, go on.
Not anywhere near as much fat on these, whereas these are proper. They almost look like from an oxtail. But they both say the same. Beef stock bones. Grass-fed, native breed, dry age. Grass-fed, native breed, dry age. There's no other giveaway as to what it is. No, RG. What would you do with the fatty bones? Well, I think roast them to start with to get some of that fat out, because obviously you can then use that fat, and then make the stock out of them. I'll open those tomorrow, and these are quite chunky. These are quite sizable. So not being a master butcher, I can't really recognise where these have come from, but they're interesting. So I've never seen bones with that much fat on it. There's a big layer of fat on there. The really, really interesting ones. We got the marrowbone canoes. So these obviously for roasting, and easy to get the marrow out. Now these are what the dogs are definitely interested in, but they're not having these. So I'm going to try these myself. Normally you get the marrowbone and it's solid. You'd have to try and sort of scoop it out. Beef liver, not normally available. I've not very rarely seen this. I think sometimes you might get it in Morrison's. It's tougher than lamb's liver. Should we give her a chew or something?
I don't think she'll want a chew when there's that.
Should we give you a chicken wing?
If you take it outside.
We're going to give her Coco a chicken wing so she stops staring at the meat on the table. So yeah, beef liver, stronger flavour, can be slightly tougher. So interesting to see what recipes. What I've said to them is that their website, they've got some recipes on there to sort of show how to use these ingredients. Issue with some of those recipes is that they contain lots of carbs and lots of sugar. So what I said to them was that we'll look at what we get and then we'll either pair it with recipes that we've got or make some new recipes. We'll look at sort of, so I'll be having a chat with Liam. In fact, on Tuesday, we might pick something from here and get Liam to make a dish. I think that's the point, isn't it, V? This is a nose to tail sort of butchers, and the benefit of having the lean minute steak and the fatty bones is evident, So, eating across the range of proteins and eating, every area, every element. Right. So this. Ox heart. Yes, that's a big heart. Ox heart. So that.
What do you do with that?
Well, that's a very slow cook.
I mean, because I understand obviously a heart is a muscle.
Yes.
So is it quite tough?
Yes. And is that fat? Because I know the suet fat is around the organs. So that there might be fresh suet.
Trust Tracy.
Honestly, size of that issue. I mean, well, let's face it. It shows you the size of the animal that's come out of. Yeah. But that is. I mean, we're gonna have to do something. So I'm gonna. I'm going to have to get this lot in the freezer. We haven't got a freezer big enough for that here.
From what I can tell, and Tracy said earlier, pasture-fed or pasture-raised is what the term I found on Google versus grass-fed. Grass-fed just means they're eating grass.
Yeah.
Pasture-raised means they're also on a pasture. So I'm assuming pasture-fed is like, it refers to where it eats, whereas grass-fed refers to what it eats.
Okay. Maybe, if I can, Tom from Swaledale, maybe we can get him to come online one day and have a chat with us about what they do. So if anyone's got any recipes for ox heart, beef liver, why, Karen? You not fancy coming joining us for an ox heart stew? Yeah, ox heart and beef liver. So give us your recipes for those. Right. I mean, yes, it's expensive, as in when you're looking at buying meat, but for what we've got here, that's actually a lot of meat. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 at around about just short of half a kilo. The ox heart is just short of 2 kilos, and then the bones are just over 1 kilo each. Yeah, it's quite a lot. So, and the quality. So
They say it's not only the quality, it's the fact that it's sustainable and traceable.
Yeah.
They say so. Partnerships with selected farms and work with carefully selected local.
So we know there's 2 or 3 online butchers now that are doing this, and they do all seem to be based up in Yorkshire. So we know that is it Farmersons? Yeah, Farmersons.
Yeah.
We've bought things from them before as well. So again, we know what we're going to be paying for when we sort of like buy one of these things. It's hopefully the best quality. But also, you say all of the assurances that it's been raised properly and it's more sustainable. No, Karen, you're not joining me for an ox heart stew, no?
At least Coco has manners.
Coco sat down
respectable distance.
Yeah, and just chuck her a bag of bones. Big barbecue round at mine then. You have a marrowbone. Right, anyway, we will do something with this lot. And we'll have to sort of create some new recipes. And I said I'll do a review for their page.
Actually, that's a point. Dan's round next week.
Dan, dinner. He'll be happy.
You can do a heart on Wednesday when I'm not here.
Well, no, the heart's going to have to wait. We're going to have to sort of properly research how to cook this. We got one hit with that. So I want to find a good recipe for that. I think liver. I think me and Dan should have the liver on Wednesday. We can do both. We'll find a recipe for the beef and we'll do the lamb alongside it. But yeah, anyway. So again, yes, it's a gift from Swaledale. Obviously, they sort of want to introduce themselves to us who are more interested in what we eat, about having sort of good quality and good health. So I'll let you know how it goes. Right. Anyway, does anyone have any other questions?
Do you want another wing?
Yeah, give her another wing so we can kick her out. There you go. Now let's just drop the link in for Swaledale. I'll see if I can work out some form of discount or something extra when I speak to Tom. I'll give him a ring next week and I'll just thank him for the box and let him know we're going to start working on it and see what we can come up with. Right, we've got 15 minutes left. What do you want to talk about that's not meat or Panda? Ask about their sausages. I think that's one area that they still use some form of filler because they will, because they're not going to use 100%. Hi, Miriam.
So it is their Cumberland sausage is 81% pork shoulder and belly, spring water, rice flour, sea salt, black pepper, parsley, preservative, sugar, and then a bunch of spices.
Yeah. So
it's not the best. It's not the worst.
It's the usual. It's adding the starch, and they're generally added for texture. So some people have tried the sausages that we produce and said they're too meaty. They're because they're made of meat. We don't add any bulkers to them. I think with the sausages that are in supermarkets, we've sort of got used to eating something that's a little bit softer and a little bit, I won't say more puree, but you know what I mean? Sort of not quite as textured as a real sausage, which is why you can make your own. Because if you buy mince, any mince, and you want to make it softer, then just add a little bit of water and either sort of stick it in a mixer, in a dough mixer, and just let it mix for a little while. It'll break it down.
Thanks, Miriam.
I mean, I think that's their motto as well. No waste. They're obviously using, they promote themselves as nose to tail. We can sort of see that, they've used a fair amount of the animals here. Interestingly, and totally off topic, nose to tail. I went out shopping for some dog treats yesterday, and there's a local sort of like old style pet store nearby. It's sort of like a warehouse style, and in there they've got dried pig's ears. Well, they've got basically dried everything off the pig and the cow. So dried pig's ears. Did
you have to pick the smelliest thing?
Oh yeah, I got some beef trachea for the dogs. It stinks. Dried beef trachea, but they had dried pig snouts. I was like, that's crazy. And they almost look like what's those like foam? That's not foam, bath sponge type things. They're quite coarse. Come on, someone give me a clue. They're sort of like a scrub. Yes, trachea. Yum. Yeah. Dried. Anyway, these pig snouts didn't actually look real. But see, they did bags of rabbit bits as well. Not tripe. No, they didn't have tripe in. Coco's now sitting with her back to us because she's disgusted. We won't share what's on the loofah. That's the one. The sort of like it looks like a cone type thing, doesn't it? Well, that's what the pig's snout looked like. It's crazy. They did. Where was I? They did a whole pig's head. Oh, I went to a local butcher's. Talking about nose to tail, there's a local butcher's. They had literally everything, including whole pig's heads. Not dried, just fresh whole pig's heads. I'm not sure what we'd do, or what the dogs would do if I brought back a whole pig's head.
I should probably play football.
Yeah, they'd probably run around shaking it. Right, I'm going to pack this meat back in its box while we finish up, because I've then got to try and work out how to get it stuffed away. I'm lost as to where the conversation is right now.
Oh, well, Tracy's cats are bringing in
a
variety of
I saw the
animals.
snakes.
Pig cheeks.
Pig cheeks, yes, there are pig cheeks there. They had pretty much everything. I mean, I wasn't sure what to get them. So beef trachea was the first one, and I got them some dried meat sticks. Almost looks like black pudding, dried black pudding, which they've enjoyed. Right, it's gone away now.
Is that the best place?
Well, it's fine for now. It's fine for now. It's not as you can smell it. It's all sealed.
Well, that's why I'm wondering how they even knew what it was.
Because they can see it. They know what meat looks like. Like they know what a cheese packet sounds like. S word. What did I say? What's the S word?
Snake.
Sir? Snake. Oh, I didn't say that then. Do the dogs like fish? They love it. They love salmon. I managed to get some. I think just after Christmas, I got 10 whole salmons for like 7 or 8 quid each, and they were obviously heads, bones, tails, the lot. And I just cut them into fillets, and the dogs had all of the inners and everything else. Yeah, they love them. What?
We first discovered RG could reach to the bottom of the sink when he was maybe 18 months old, maybe even younger, maybe a year.
Well, he was as tall as he is now, but he was a damn sight slimmer.
It was just lanky, just all legs, and he ate a packet of defrosting fish that we were having for our dinner. So since then, anything that defrosts in the sink goes underneath the drying racks. He's also had an entire block of butter off the side. No side effects.
Right. Right. Do you want some of this? Yeah. Let me show you. So this is one of the dog treats. Okay. So this is the one that looks like black pudding. This is how it comes. Just huge stick of it. They're both sat here waiting for it. Oh, it's bendy. This one.
I can't really smell it from here.
Right.
Don't worry, Archie, you're getting the bigger bit.
I wasn't going to give him that.
Well, he's looking at herpes.
Go on. Yeah, I know.
If he doesn't want it all, he won't eat it all.
Yeah, true. Right, good boy.
What is it with him and not...
Take it outside. Take it outside. Go on. Right, we might get like the next 7 minutes free.
RG is almost 7 and he still can't figure out the physics of carrying a stick.
Oh, it's terrible. It's the worst dog in the world for bugger. Wollaston keys.
Who needs them?
Actually, no one until Sunday. Right, okay, where are we? Are we nearly finished? Okay, we're now talking about stealing cats and dogs. Yes, I'm giving it to the dogs, Tracy. It's a dog treat. It's not one of my chew sticks. Anyway, I think. Oh, it's next Sunday, V, not this Sunday. So we're actually, yeah, there you go. Thank you. So we are attending as Keto Roma a week on Sunday, the Keto and Low Carb Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Could you imagine if I opened up the website? You go Sunday the 21st. We go,
well,
oh no.
Well, we're not going. It is. Is there a Q&A? When now or the show? Because if you've got any questions, feel free. You ask, because that's what we're here for. The whole hour is for any questions. Festival. No. The date of the show is next Sunday. Yeah. Definitely.
Bank holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Sunday of the bank holiday weekend. We're just spending a couple of weeks getting ready for it. We've got a few things to show to launch while we're there. So again, we've got like 5 minutes left. If there are any questions for anybody watching, then feel free, or come and join the Facebook group. And obviously, you're always welcome to ask questions in there. I'm thinking, yeah, we will be back in a fortnight's time. So what is he doing with his stick out
He'll
there?
be dragging it around until he figures out what it is.
No, it'll be dispatched early next week, V. So it's normal dispatching next week. So depending on what it was, it'll go Monday, Tuesday.
A bunch of wraps.
A bunch of wraps. Monday probably. Okay. Oh yes. Okay. Your lamb recipe spices could have been made in a slow cooker. Is that the
Sounds like the Moroccan lamb.
Moroccan lamb, yeah. I mean, yes, you can. There's no reason why you couldn't. There's no liquid to it, is there? Because it is a seared and sealed and fried.
So Moroccan lamb steaks. Yeah, it's just lamb steaks, olive oil, and then the lemon juice, and then it's just spices.
I would, if you were doing that, I would sear it first and then put it in the slow cooker. You need to add a little bit of liquid in there. It will fall, but if it'll be very, very tender. But yeah, you can do it in a slow cooker. Absolutely. I'd almost make it into a little bit of a sauce rather than having it dry. So obviously you're gonna have liquid in there coming from the meat. So maybe when you take the lamb out, just throw a spoon of creme fraiche or sour cream into the mix, into the water, and give it a quick stir. Yeah, sear it first. Just seal the meat first, and then put it in. Right. Never worked with children or animals. Well, that's been
CRG's tale.
That's been my life for many years. Who was that? Oh, Miriam. You haven't finished that stick. You've just been playing with it. Right. Anyway, we had better shove off to the other side. Members, come and join us in A&R in 2 minutes. Otherwise, you'll see us next week at some point. I think I'm going to do a live on Thursday. You're going to do on Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be no live on Sunday.
No, there'll be no sessions on Sunday because we're not here. On Monday because it's bank holiday.
So I think there might actually only be 2 lives next week because we can't do. I don't like to do one on Monday because it's a bit of an all over the place day sometimes.
Tuesday
Liam's doing a class here. Yeah. Wednesday,
me.
No live.
Oh, no live. Yeah, sorry. Thursday's me.
Thursday, you. Friday, me. Saturday, festival prep. Sunday, festival.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just the 2 lives next week. We will let you know what we're going to cook. I think I don't know. Oh no, I'm going to be using something of that meat box, aren't I? So I'll make a recipe from there. Right. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next week sometime.